Something happened today that some of you are already aware of, maybe some of you aren't. The Supreme Court made a decision today in educational funding, and they've ordered us to give another $500 million to the 31 Abbott districts. Now, the 31 Abbott districts already get $4.5 billion in the last school year. And so an extra $500 million, I said it this morning, I don't know when the Supreme Court's going to finally abandon the idea that if we just continue to throw more money at this problem, that we're going to fix it. 1988, educational funding in the Abbott districts from state aid was about 36% of the overall state aid. 22 years later, it's nearly 60% of all the state aid goes to 31 districts. And now, the Supreme Court's ordered today $500 million more. Now listen, you elected me governor, not emperor. So, here's the deal. The Supreme Court is the Supreme Court, and I have to comply with their order. But the deal is this, it's up to the legislature now. The budget's sitting there, I submitted my budget. Now the legislature's going to have to figure out where they're going to find $500 million to be able to fund the Abbott districts. And they got to send me a budget by June 30th. It's their job to figure it out. And a lot of them were yelling and screaming that they wanted this, now they got it. They got to figure out how to fund it. So let's get a window into how they like to fund things. Because they've given us a little window into it the last couple of weeks in these budget hearings. Let's start off with someone who is near and dear to your hearts here in Cherry Hill, Assemblyman Lou Greenwald. Now, Assemblyman Greenwald's idea of how to make New Jersey more affordable is to do this. He wants to let every town in New Jersey, charge its residents an income tax. And he wants every town in New Jersey to be able to charge a local sales tax on top of the state sales tax. Now, I don't know. I'm not like the smartest guy in the world, but if you're trying to lower taxes, why would you make more of it? But this is the mindset that you're hearing out of Trenton right now. And what he says is, you've heard this scam before. If you give us this tax, it'll lower the property tax. Now, Brendan Byrne tried to sell you that bag of garbage in 1977. He said, we establish an income tax, and that'll lower property taxes. We didn't have the highest property taxes back in 1977, but we do now. And we have the third highest income tax in America. So how'd that go? So now your guy, Lou Greenwald, says, no, I know that happened before, but Governor, if you just let each town have their own income tax, and each town have their own sales tax, then we'll use all that money, we promise. Use all that money to lower your property taxes. I'll tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I've learned in 16 months in Trenton, if they send money there, it never comes back. It does not come back, because every one of these legislators finds some smart idea they have where they can spend your money. And now you're going to add to it, you're going to give each town the chance to be able to levy an income tax and a sales tax? Not on my watch. Not going to happen. You pass it, I'll do that. Now, the next idea that they came up with this week, this is just this week now. Understand, this week, John Wisniewski, Democratic State Chairman, and another assemblyman from Middlesex County, he thinks it's time to raise the gas tax. Now, this has got to be the idea of somebody who is literally in a coma, right? He's got to be. He can't be conscious. He can't drive around New Jersey like I do and see most of the signs at gas stations saying gas is over $4 a gallon and say, hey, I got an idea. And here's the Democratic bill in the Assembly right now. To raise the gas tax 8 cents a gallon every year for the next 3 years. So a 24-cent increase in the gas tax. That's a 228% increase. But wait, you haven't heard the best yet. After that, every year thereafter, the gas tax would go up along with inflation. And there would be no cap on it and no further action necessary from the legislature. So every year your gas tax would go up, and this is like a Democrat's dream. The taxes go up and they don't have to be responsible for it. They go, well, we approved that law a while ago. It says it's all supposed to go up, so you want from me? I don't know. I can't do anything. We're already funding our road projects, new transportation capital plan that we put out at $1.6 billion a year, every year for the next 5 years. And we're doing it in a responsible way. We're doing it using current gas tax money, using other funds from both the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and current budgetary funds, so that a third of all the money that we spend over the next 5 years on transportation will be cash. The rest will be money that we borrow for long-term projects. In the 5 years the Democrats were in control before, 10% was cash and 90% was debt. And they're criticizing me. I tripled the amount of cash that we're going to put into this to try to be more responsible about it. And in light of all that, what's their proposal? Raise the gas tax. So get ready, if they got their way, for $4.50 gas. Add 25 cents plus to every gallon of gas. Are you seeing a pattern here? Their solution to every problem that we confront is to do what my mother used to accuse me of doing. When I was growing up, my mother, I'd go and ask my mother for something new. And she'd say to me, of course, Chris, you can have that. I'd be all excited, right? Hey, I'm going to get it. Here's what you do. Just go out in the backyard and pick the money off the money tree. And then take it to the store. You can have what you want. And I look at her and say, well, Mom, there's no money tree in the backyard. She said, exactly. There's no money tree in the backyard. You're not the money tree for New Jersey. But so just in the span of a week, we've got Luke Greenwald saying more income tax in each municipality, sales tax in each municipality, on top of the state income tax and the state sales tax. We've got John Wisniewski and Al Catino saying, let's raise the gas tax 24 cents over the next 3 years, and then have an automatic inflation increase every year after that for as long as we all shall live. But now you're going to hear even more. Because now that the Supreme Court's ordered $500 million more in average spending, now they're going to want to raise the income tax too. Get ready. They want to raise the income tax also, but here's what they're going to say. They're going to say, don't worry, we'll just raise it on millionaires. And we won't raise taxes on anybody else. Let me tell you, when a politician tells you they're going to raise a tax on somebody else and it won't cost you anything, put your hand on your wallet, because they're coming for you next. And if I let my foot off their throat on tax increases, on any of them, they're going to come at and grab as much as they can grab. So, they got to come up with the problem, solve the problem on school funding, and there's only one simple rule. There's one rule. We do not raise taxes on the most overtaxed people in the United States of America already.